checking his bases right now. But we're doing well back in Washington, D.C., but this is about resource development. This is really the challenge we have in the state of Alaska. And we have not accepted that challenge to the degree we should as a state. Because we have 104 million acres of land in the state, 44 million acres of land in the Native community. We haven't gone as far as we should go developing the resources within the state. We've been dependent upon the Secretary of the Interior all these years. As I mentioned today in my testimony, 12 Secretaries of the Interior I've been under or served with. Each one had a profound impact upon this state of Alaska. Some of them very negative. And I hope this Secretary will have a positive side. It's just not OCS, but that's very important today. As I mentioned in my testimony today, that internationally, China and Russia already are staking claim to waters beyond our limits. And they will drill, and they will develop, and we'll have no say in it. That's why we're so interested in Mark and Lisa and the Coast Guard being present in the North. I would like to suggest to the Secretary and the President too, though, regardless of what we do about these sales, that we ought to implement a process that Mr. Ferguson, Jack in the back of the room, and I worked on to make sure that we build the pipeline in 3 years. Because we put a provision in that bill that said there could be no lawsuits. It does us a little good to have a sale in Chuck GC for $2.6 billion, and there's a lawsuit in the Ninth Circuit. And they came back with a decision that doesn't settle anything. This nation's under duress now because we are not producing the energy. Even last year, in a recession period of time, we sent abroad $462 billion to buy foreign oil. And yet we have certain people that say we mustn't have any more fossil fuels. And I'm saying, wait a minute, what are you talking about? A barrel of oil has 42 gallons in it. And after you refine it, you've got 44 gallons. I remember figuring that out, by the way. Added too. But that's what happens. And yes, in that barrel of oil, we have 19 gallons of gasoline. We have 8 gallons of jet fuel and 4 gallons of heating oil. We might replace this with the President's program to some degree. We might have windmills and sun layers. We might have, other forms of energy. I'm not sure about the jet fuel. We haven't figured that out yet. But what we can do is live without the 24% of that barrel. And the general public doesn't understand that 24%. That's all the sidelights, all the things that you do with the residents. The public doesn't understand that. Think about this society without Pampers. You want a revolution, try that. Or aspirin. And I go all down the line, especially, I call medical equipment, all made from petrochemicals. And we've got to get the public more interested in that field to understand we must drill and we must provide the fossil fuels or quit buying them from abroad if we want this nation to be free. You cannot get out of this recession without production. You must produce in this nation, and we stop doing that. And the fossil fuel energy project is very important to the economy of this nation as a whole. Our job, and Mark's job, and Lisa's job is to convince them Alaska will play a major role in providing that energy. But I have one little problem, and that's the Speaker of the House, that really believes that we shouldn't be burning any more fossil fuels. And that's nonsense. We must continue to do that. We must continue to develop it cleanly, and we must develop this nation as a whole. But let's go beyond that, if I can. Resource development is just not fossil fuels either. It is the key. We have all the other resources in the state you can't produce unless you have reasonably priced power. If you don't have that reasonably priced power, you can forget all the mines, which is very, very important, the added value to the timber and the fish. Reasonably priced power in this state, and we ought to be doing it within the state. The bullet line to me is crucial. The bullet line is to sit in the dam. All the other projects, including all the hydro in Southeast, if we want the state to grow, we all have to be working together, because without energy, you can't develop the resources within the state. We're not competitive. So I'm asking all of you collectively to think about an energy program and quit talking about it. We've been talking ever since we were a state about energy, and all we've done is talk about it. If we could capture the hot air, we'd have all the energy we need. So let's ask our legislators and our governor and the state to step up to the plate and say we need all forms of energy developed in this job.